Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Slap whatever you want. You just slap a bass. You slap whatever the fuck you want. Hey, looks like the funk's wrapping up. Welcome to Matinee Edition. Fuck, I did it wrong.
It's the good after morning birth or whatever.
Good.
Either way, it's the Matinee Edition, like you said. What's the Matinee Edition?
Good midday. Welcome to Matinee Edition of Old Heart Radio.
It's the podcast you're currently listening to. You may have accidentally stumbled upon it, or you may have intentionally stumbled upon it. Either way, you're here now, so lend us your ear.
We're gonna be talking about a handful of little things today.
A handful.
Like stuff that we like. You
Yeah.
don't like it? You don't have to listen to this.
That's totally true.
Or we could get you into it. Whatever works.
Either way.
Avengers Endgame, Game of Thrones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. A few things we're excited for in the near future.
Lots of hype, man. There's always this cool shit going on. Like, it's I mean, obviously, Avengers Endgame has been like full on. It's out there now. Like, its dick is out. Like, everybody's seeing Cap wielding two hammers on Instagram. Everybody's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's fucking everywhere.
It's fair game. Like, it's just open to talk about. It was fucking badass.
It was great.
Like, it definitely exceeded expectations in terms of, in my opinion, in terms of the plot. Like, it was layered and detailed, but like so well done.
Yeah,
like it
very
made
impressive.
Sense. Like,
yeah,
and it just built so much into it expanded that universe so much.
It expanded it without it feeling forced and without setting up anything else.
Word.
It gives a level of sort of conclusiveness to a franchise that's been running for such an extended period of time now.
Yeah, and that is probably going to be continuing. I mean, like, do you think that they're gonna make another Avengers movie, but just with like different characters?
Yeah,
and,
we've discussed this briefly before, where it's like it's probably going to be like Falcon, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Doctor Strange is sort of like the main ones now.
Yeah.
And like Bucky in there as well.
I do think Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange is still like an outlier. Okay, I saw this thing on online that was like it was Robert Downey Jr. It was like Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever. It was in the same were in the same movie, right?
Yeah.
Twice now, and neither of them had like a chance to say like no shit Sherlock to the other. Right? Like, I thought that was fucking brilliant. Like, that would have been such a funny fucking thing to slide in.
I saw something about that where it was where that was supposedly in the Infinity War script,
right?
But they took it out because it felt forced, like they were trying too hard to make the joke.
I was just like,
I would have loved it.
It would have been like such an out of character thing. Like there's like for some reason in between battling Thanos and Infinity War, they just like lock eyes with each other, and like one of them says it to the other for no reason whatsoever.
But I did love their vibe, which. It brings me to something interesting that theoretically it could be continuing. There's all the theories about, despite sort of the end of both Captain America and Iron Man's arcs, that RDJ, he didn't want to like stop. He wanted to keep going. So, and
which is weird though, because like do you remember when he was filming Iron Man 3? Like he definitely like dropped it where he was just sort of like I can't keep making these movies forever. I'm pushing I think he was like 50 something.
Yeah,
at the
now
time,
he's like 55.
50, yeah.
He I mean like, but he hasn't done any solo movies since then. He's done only ensemble stuff.
Yeah, and I guess like if you think about like Civil War, like
somebody said that he made $5 million and was on set for 3 days for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh man, I heard he raked in quite some pretty fucking coin on that.
So what I'm thinking is gonna happen?
He'll just make
with
cameos
him,
and shit.
Yeah, cameos and shit, and maybe eventually, if he really wants to bring it back, do the thing from the comics where they like his mind waves become an AI.
Oh yeah, like his
which it's like
he's
the
new
Ironheart
Jarvis,
Riri
basically.
Williams.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fuck it.
I mean, it would make sense, and it would. I mean, nobody would be angry about like Robert Downey Jr.
Give it some time
continuing.
to rest. If they do it like in Spider-Man: Far From Home,
no, that'd be fucked up.
It's gonna be fucked up.
Like Peter's grieving, and then his new suit all of a sudden reboots with this like,
hey kid,
hey kid, I'm here or whatever. It's like a fuck, dude.
You're the new Iron Man.
Too quick. You're the new Iron Man. That's something, dude. Like I was like, I don't think Spider-Man, like I read that too. Like Spiderman's gonna be the new Iron Man. I was
think
like, that would be the dumbest turn.
I think that it's gonna end up with him realizing he can't be the new Iron Man, but he's gotta be the first Spider-Man.
Well, yeah.
And that's gonna be the moral of Far From Home.
Is that he has to step up and be Spider-Man.
He has to be himself. He can't be living in the shadow of somebody else.
Fair enough.
Which is gonna lead to, I think, Happy's gonna be his mentor figure, and then maybe in a future movie, Peter Parker's gonna mentor like a couple years younger Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
But okay, so
let's stick to Endgame for now. We're gonna get Spider-Man Far From Home later in a different segment.
So
the wrapping up of Tony Stark's arc throughout these films. How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about it? I feel fine about it. It was like
it worked.
It worked. I mean, it made sense that they had to wrap it up.
I feel like it becomes more powerful when you put Captain America in perspective as well, because it's something that the directors have brought up quite a bit, is the mirroring of the arcs of Captain America going from being a completely selfless man to making a very selfish decision at the end of Endgame, but Tony Stark being a selfish jackass at the beginning of his movie, and then giving the ultimate sacrifice of taking his own life to save everyone else.
Yeah, which he's steadily like tried to do more and more. I think. Like, like I mean, it showed in, like the first Avengers, Civil War. In
particular, I think Civil War is sort of the big character change happened.
So he's like it definitely was like a long time coming that like Tony was gonna like sacrifice himself in some capacity or
but
another.
Then it was subversive enough that everybody thought it was like, who's gonna die in this movie? Like, Stark's gonna live. Spider-Man needs a mentor.
Yeah.
I had my money down that Cap was gonna die.
I mean, I like after hearing that both their contracts had kind of like went up, I assumed that they were both gonna kind of in some capacity go away.
Yeah.
And like, I think the more surprising of the two story arcs is Captain America's, because it ends with him being more selfish. Yeah. And like that's something that's so out of character for Captain America.
But then people,
whereas like Iron Man, you assume that he is to some degree a good fucking human being. Otherwise, he wouldn't be Iron Man.
Which
so
I do love that like the one in like 14 million shot is where he has no context and he has no warning. He has to go off a like borderline instinctual decision. And has to like give it up at the last second.
Oh, you're talking about to end the battle and stuff?
Yeah, to end the battle and to stop Thanos. Like Thanos was about to tear reality apart, and then if Stark hadn't gone in there at that last moment in a completely selfless look, like Doctor Strange even mentions to him earlier, it's like if I tell you right now, you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Which
is implying that he's still selfish enough to not want to risk his own life unless it's down to the wire.
Well, yeah, I mean, and like, you know, that's one of the things you see in the movie. Like, he doesn't like, even in Endgame, he doesn't start off selfless. He doesn't start off like
he's being such
like
a
Tony
dick
Stark does not start the quest for the fucking Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
he's like resistant to the whole thing. He doesn't want to fucking be involved. He wants to just leave things the way they are because shit's already been too fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
which I mean, like the beginning.
So like he's beaten. Like, he starts off in the movie like pretty, like I mean, God, we were talking about it earlier. I guess the beginning of the movie, Tony Stark is like starving, fucking dehydrated. He's been floating in space with fucking Nebula,
which I actually thought was a great character moment with Nebula, like putting him up in his chair and expressing compassion and care for somebody else, because like she was sitting him comfortably, knowing that like he was probably going to go to sleep and die.
Yeah,
and she wasn't going to because she didn't have to breathe oxygen.
Yes, it was just kind of like a cool little moment between the two, and I thought it was actually the way they pair. That's actually one of the neat things about the entire movie, is the way they paired certain characters up.
Yeah,
was really fucking cool.
Yeah,
like it was cool seeing different characters interact with. Yeah, it totally did.
There was no like ensemble of characters, especially once they broke off in the second act.
Yeah,
that felt like they didn't mesh for some reason.
Yeah, and it's still. It all, I don't know. It all worked. But
you just want to hit act by act here? Give a general synopsis?
Sure.
Fuck it. All right.
So the first act, somber as fuck. They kill Thanos in the beginning,
which is the most. It should like theoretically be a triumphant moment, but damn, is it depressing?
Yeah. It just doesn't. It doesn't like you don't expect it, which makes it seem so out of place. Which then, in the context of the entire movie, it really doesn't matter in a lot of ways. Like it just seems to be like the it gets pushed to the back of your mind real fucking easy.
Yeah. Which, I mean, but it's supposed to be, like, they're going in, and they're, like, curb-stopping Thanos.
Yeah, they're all hot for teacher. They're going in.
They want to kill him.
Like, they all want fucking blood, and so, you know, like, they bust in, like, ready to kill him, ready to just take the stones and stuff. The only reason they keep him alive for any little bit is because the stones are gone, and they don't know where they are.
Yeah, they thought they were hiding him. And I love that Nebula...
Otherwise, they probably would have just fucking killed him even quicker in that first little, like...
Yeah, which, like, I'd seen it one more time than you had, so whenever there was a cool moment coming up, I'd sort of, like, glare over at you and see what your reaction would be. And when they barged in the front fucking door and cut off Thanos' arm, he was just like, oh, shit. Jaw hit the floor. Yeah. When I watched it the first time, I was like, okay, that's how they get, like, the Time Stone or something before he stops them.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't expect them to not get any stones out of that interaction.
Yeah.
But
because I saw time travel coming.
Yeah. So they killed Thanos off, and then they you know, they find out that they get dick all from it, and so they just go back to Earth with their tails between their legs, and they just deal with reality, which is that all these fucking people are dead. 5 years goes by, and then you pick up with, like, Cap talking to a bunch of people. I mean, you guys saw the trailer. It's Cap talking to a bunch of fucking people
Cap's
in, like,
a
therapy room, and
which is great for that character. I feel like it makes sense.
It does kind of make sense, but also
he's a selfless man.
Until the end of the movie. Which again is like you start both those characters off in opposite places, and then they end up in opposite places later on. You know
fucking
what I mean? So like really the only person that's like trying to hold shit together is Black Widow.
Yeah, she's like running sort of like an Avengers.
Kind of, yeah, like quasi, like Captain Marvel checks in via hologram.
Rocket's there with Nebula. War Machine's there.
Okoye or whatever.
Okoye's there.
Yeah. Is that her name?
Okoye.
Okay.
Which brings a whole question to me.
On it for just a hot second.
Which brings another question to me: who the fuck is running Wakanda? Because they mentioned, They mentioned it's in the script. The entire Wakandan royal family died.
Yeah,
so like, I would love to see fucking M'Baku running the show.
M'Baku's running. I mean, yeah, actually, if he's still did he get dusted?
No,
he was around. He was alive.
He was looking around, horrified,
watching everybody turn to dust. That's right. So
I love that like he was on the press tour for this movie and didn't even have a fucking line in the film. No. At the end, you just see him like going hurrah, and which is like the most generic M'Baku sort of thing. It's exactly what you'd expect.
For real.
But no, she's talking to him. She's coordinating everything, and sort of Cap shows up, and it's interesting because we see like the family dynamic of these characters and how they legitimately care about each other, and they're human. Which I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's why the DC universe isn't successful. The DC characters in the movies, they aren't fucking people. They're
true. I mean, they also don't have like the movie length to like help create their characters. They have all the DC movies keep trying to push established characters into movies, and
you can't expect everybody to have read the comics that give these characters depth.
Well, I mean, with certain characters, you can. Like you can definitely like even with characters like Iron Man and Captain America, like you can totally assume that most people would know a bit about their character.
Yeah, at least at this point.
But I guess that's my point. Like the DC movies, they try to take those assumptions that they assume people have and just like roll with them. Whereas like the reason why Marvel movies are successful is because
they've been playing the long game.
They've been playing the long game, but they also established their own. Like this is a different universe with these characters in it. Yeah. Rather than so it gives them the leeway to fuck with them. It gives them the leeway to write different stories and different personality types.
They're not ripping straight from the comics. No. Oh, and I mean it shows the care and sort of like it. I mean, at the beginning, speaking of changes they made right at the start. Right, I guess the I am Iron Man and him revealing his secret identity at the beginning of the first Iron Man film was improv. Of RDJ just being like, "Fuck it, this will be a cool line."
Yeah, and then his last line was improv too or whatever.
Yeah, I guess in that first movie, Kevin Feige saw it and was like, "Oh, that was cool. Let's roll with this from here on out."
Yeah, I mean, I've read that a handful of times about parts of the Marvel movies, and it kind of makes me wonder how much of that is made up, where it's people eat this shit up. Let's just say that was an improv line.
I would be surprised. I love it. I love it as much as the next guy. But
I mean, so do I. It's I genuinely would think that people do that kind of shit. But I don't know.
So,
that's the pessimist in me. Anyway, again, back to Avengers Endgame. So the first act is really somber. Like honestly, like and then you kind of see that like these characters are all in definitely like places you wouldn't expect. Ronan's off like killing people in fucking Japan or whatever. Like, really brutally. Like honestly, like you don't see Hawkeye being like. I mean, you see him shooting fucking aliens and shit like that, but you don't see him like slicing people and fucking like.
Like you see him like throwing ninja stars and impaling people.
Yeah, it was like I mean that you want to talk about like
at one point,
character like events like that like they make him feel so out of character.
Yeah.
Like it was actually pretty cool.
Fucked. Like the beginning of like the opening shots of Endgame are his family disappearing.
Yeah, which I mean like it hit like that. Like,
it hits hard.
It weirdly like it sets the tone.
It's weirdly
so fucking well.
Like you get shaken because it's the reality that like he was just hanging with his family, and you can only imagine that that's the experience that fucking everyone had.
So like across the universe though too. Like you know like what I mean.
Think of
like,
John C. Reilly playing with his blue child from Guardians of the Galaxy. Think of. It's oddly reminiscent of, in The Matrix when, like, Agent Smith's chasing Neo, and just the kid looks away, sees Neo, looks back at the mom, the mom's Agent Smith. It's like, oh my god, that mother's dead.
Yeah, straight I mean, it's like, again, but that shit sets the tone, man, and then it leads to the whole Ronin story arc, which everybody was kind of joking about, and, like, everybody knew.
It's like, he's got a mohawk,
so
it's edgy.
Yeah. Like, he took the time to get a tattoo and fucking a haircut.
He's got a sleeve now.
But it totally works, and like you genuinely like feel bad for him. But
especially when like Black Widow finds him and he's just like, "Don't give me hope.
Yeah.
I've given up."
Yeah, and that's kind of it. He's just like he's resigned to like just killing off scumbags and like whatever. Like,
it's his way of coping.
Yeah, for real. Like I don't know. It was interesting. Like I thought that was like kind of an effective way to like, keep. An anchor to like the weight of it all. Yeah, was his character itself.
Which I like that he was the guy who did the first like test of the time travel
because he doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He's like fuck it, dude. If I don't come back out, whatever. Like he almost didn't, dude. Like that dude wanted to stay in there too.
Yeah,
the test run was back to like what?
It was at his farm. It was at his farm, and he hears his kids, and as soon as he disappears, his daughter runs down the stairs, and she's just like, "Dad."
It was so funny. It was like it's so close.
And if you didn't notice, he came back with the baseball mitt.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Fuck, it worked."
Yeah, dude, it was intense. Like,
and I love that they as soon as they start time traveling, it's just like fan service, but done well.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we kind of talked about it, like Tony's starting off really selfish. So they get the idea to time travel. Ant-Man comes back. We all kind of know about this, right?
Yeah. Ant-Man comes back. He finds out what's going on. Brings it to Cap. Tells him what's up.
Really quick, I just want to point out. I saw this where his van was in that like garage.
Yeah.
Right, where the rat saves the day and everything. But on like the little sign where his van's parked, it has his name on it, and then right underneath it says 616.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's just like a little nod.
Fuck.
So anyway, Ant-Man's back. They come up with this idea to obviously go to the quantum realm and try and like fucking time travel their way into some Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, we forgot to mention Thor's depressed and alcoholic and super fat.
I want to get to that. But so Tony, they go to Tony, and Tony's like, I don't want to have anything to do with this shit.
I got a daughter. I got a family. I'm a family man now. I don't want to lose this.
I love that they, He's like, I could probably solve this. He's totally arrogant, but that's still the same thing. Like, he's so fucking arrogant, but he's like, but it's like he just doesn't want to be involved.
I love that. Paul Rudd is describing. Ant-Man's describing.
They're all
whatever.
One of the
same difference.
Same difference.
I love that Paul Rudd's describing time travel, and Stark looks at him and goes, "Your time travel rules based on Back to the Future?" And he goes, yeah. And he goes, no. He goes, yeah, no, not really.
Yeah.
And Tony Stark goes, good, because that'd be bullshit.
Yeah. Well, and I love that. That's like, I feel like most people in the theater also somehow base their idea of time travel on the Back to the Future movies.
It's funny to me,
but
they shoot that down pretty quick.
They do. So anyway, so Tony doesn't want to be involved in it at any rate because him and fucking Pepper have a kid, and like they're just trying to deal with reality and all this shit.
But he has to break it down.
but then like it's just a problem he has to solve, like always, right? And so he does, super fucking quick. Like,
I mentioned this to you the other day. It's like, yes, it happens quickly. But who wants to see? It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Who wants to see a 15-minute drawn-out sequence like in the first Iron Man movie when he's building the suit of him like figuring out time travel?
Yeah, but I just love. I just love that it's like the idea that Tony Stark is just like sitting around with his finger up his ass, basically just like oh shoot, you know, like why the fuck not? Like this could work. Like, and then it's I mean, it does make sense. It's just like the outrageousness of something. Like and there's time travel.
And also they got fucking Professor Hulk working on it too. So
Professor Hulk. Okay, so
hand-fisted.
I do like personally have a little bit of a beef with the Professor Hulk. I just like whatever. It's comedic relief for like the next lifetime that Mark Ruffalo wants to fucking work for Disney. But like it works. It's just you're taking away like the badassness of Hulk. Yeah, you're just making a big green Bruce Banner, and like that's fucking boring. Like
I like it.
Like I want to see Hulk punch something. I want to see fucking Hulk smash. I don't want to see Hulk climb into a fucking Stark suit and fight somebody. I don't want to see like big green Bruce Banner solve a fucking equation. like you know what I mean? Like
here's my
personally, that's how I feel about the fucking Hulk.
Well, I like that. Like in Ragnarok, Hulk is sort of this like over the top, like goofy, like child, and Banner's always this sort of reserved, like character. But then when they bring them together, it's really like meeting in the middle. Like
they do. They
have
like a sense of like almost relief. Like they can finally be a regular person.
It's almost like cathartic for him.
Yeah.
And I mean, like it was one of the funniest moments in the movie. In a very somber movie, they did weave in some good funny notes.
Oh, absolutely.
Quite often.
Well, like any Marvel movie.
Any Marvel.
They really do a good job of like kind of the whole thing. Anyway, but
the diner scene.
Yeah, the diner scene was
so much could have been left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
but they have like a minute back and forth between like Banner, some kids, and Ant-Man. Of the kids being like, "We don't want a picture."
Yeah,
and then
like
Hulk,
we don't know you really.
And then Hulk walking away. No. The kids walking away. Hulk being like, "This is your mom, dab."
He does. He throws up a fucking dab. Oh man.
Everybody say green.
It's a cool addendum. Again, like I said, I wanted to see, like personally, I wanted to see like fucking Hulk at least fight Thanos a little more, or like smash a little something. But then at the most you see Hulk smash is like real. He does do some good shit in the battle, I guess. But
he does do some. Well, he's the guy who brings everyone back.
Yeah, I mean, he does burn up his fucking arm and all that. Okay. Anyway, so
which worked better for you?
Yeah.
Hulk or Fat Thor?
Oh well, Fat Thor I think was just fucking brilliant. Like
same here. Well, some people really fucking hate Fat Thor.
No, it just made sense, dude. Like, okay, one, it's not like all of the gods of Valhalla were
it's somebody brought
Asgard were like all in, like, dude, he had like 3 fat friends in like the first 2 Thor movies.
Somebody brought up the point that this is way more accurate to like actual Norse mythology.
Yeah, it's
that
cool.
Thor would just be a big, really strong dude.
Yeah.
And also,
he's got mass. It doesn't mean he's got muscle necessarily.
I mean, like, he's fucking. I mean, like, also, he's an Asgardian. An extra, like, 100 pounds won't slow him down that much.
No. No, you're still talking about, like, a dude who can punch a fucking frost giant, like, over, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, we're talking about, like, a fucking.
I do love that, like, he's
demigod.
so depressed and so far gone. He doesn't want to hear anyone say Thanos' name.
Yeah.
And he's using Stormbreaker as a beer bottle opener.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like, he's like the interesting thing is that he is
and also
mentally he's just in a shit fucking place.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. Like his
he's
body matches it.
He's
like
fucking
just
playing
we've all been there.
Fortnite
So,
with Korg and Meek.
Yeah. Fucking Meek, dude. Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it's awesome that Korg and Meek are there. I don't like. I really hope that they continue to like evolve again, like that kind of relation, like those relationships like that.
I
like,
really hope that
Korg and
like, Korg and Meek went with Thor and the Guardians.
That's what I mean. Like have something like that happen where that'd
be great.
Oh, dude, the Asgardians of the Galaxy. They should. Do you think that?
I'm down for it. I think Thor's gonna be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I definitely think so. I mean, what's it gonna be like, the hunt for fucking Gamora or whatever?
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll get there at some point.
So Fat Thor, Professor Hulk, and the rest of the Avengers.
The original ones plus War Machine, Nebula, and Rocket.
Yeah, they all decide to go to what, 3 particular events.
So it's New York,
the Battle of New York
in 2012, Asgard 2014,
and as well as what's that place?
It was
Morag.
Morag and Vormir.
Yeah.
Which, so they pair up Ant-Man, Hulk, Cap, and Iron Man go to
the Battle of New York because they're going to pick up 2 Infinity Stones there.
Yep, they're going to pick.
Space Stone.
No, they said they're going to pick up 3.
Oh, that's right. It's like the Space Stone, the Mind Stone,
and the Time Gem.
Yeah, that's right. Because Professor Hulk goes to try and get the Time Gem
from the Ancient One, which was a nice little cameo from Tilda Swinton.
And I love
everyone's favorite Martian, making a great appearance once again.
Tilda Swinton's fucking perfect. But I love that they they're having this conversation, and she basically explains.
I love that they
really
did what
quickly, like, hey, this is the reason why nobody saw us fucking protecting New York when this got invaded.
She's on the outskirts, stopping Chitauri from getting too far out of the city.
Pretty much. So I thought that was cool.
I did also love that she punched him out of his body like she did to Stephen Strange, which was I fucking love that effect.
Yeah, that shit was Could you what the fuck with that? Like you just get knocked backward, and you just probably feel like you're just getting pushed over or hit backward, right? And then all of a sudden you just see your body right in front of you.
I love that she did it to 2 men of science too.
Totally. That's one of those things. It's you have no idea.
Yeah. She and that explains a lot about the alternative realities and the time travel that.
Yeah, and that which will have a play for how many more movies to come in the
absolutely.
Marvel universe. You know what I mean?
It's gonna
so
they already confirmed
really
it's gonna be
important scene.
Yeah, and so then Cap, Iron Man, Ant-Man, they're going for the Space Stone and Loki's scepter.
Yep.
Which Cap gets Loki's scepter in the fucking elevator. Which my favorite Marvel movie is The Winter Soldier. I mentioned this on an episode of Coffee and Contemplation.
And so there was that really cool kind of nod to the Winter Soldier.
There's the callback to the elevator scene, which even some shots are either completely recreated or reused, I guess.
Interesting.
And even the dudes in the elevator are standing in the same place.
Nice. So
except
they
for
really paid
the
that
other
attention.
dude, the Sitwell is in there too.
Oh yeah, Agent Sitwell.
Which
who's a crossover character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah, first appearance was there, and they sent him to the Meridian Star. Right at the end of one of the episodes,
right?
Which is where Cap got him from, where Cap saved him from at the beginning of Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
but I fucking love that. It shows Cap's growth as a character and him becoming smarter, because he doesn't fight his way out of that situation, which would probably make it more of a shit show for them trying to get everything. He just leans over and goes, "Hail Hydra," and walks out with a smirk on his face.
Word, yeah, and dude, the Hail Hydra moment is really fucking cool. It just because I mean, I don't know. I didn't expect him to actually to say it. It made sense, but it was just cool to it was just weird to also to hear Captain America say Hail Hydra.
But it just shows that he's a smarter character than he was.
Oh yeah, he's just I don't want to have to fucking.
And then he goes and fights himself.
Yeah,
which I loved because he's just motherfucker. I get why I annoy everyone. Especially when he's fighting himself and the other one goes, "I can do this all day," and he goes, "Yeah, I know." Yeah,
which is just I don't know. It is kind of funny. It's just all the fucking pep and cheer is gone.
Yeah. He's grizzled. He's been running from the government for a while now.
He needs to develop his voice, though. He needs to get a Batman voice, though. I think that kind of showcases.
I'm the Nomad.
Oh no, he takes on the Nomad.
I'm Nomad. What was it? There was another one. It's just I'm the captain. I am the captain now.
So Captain America fights himself. Captain America wins.
Tony Stark almost kills himself.
Yeah.
By getting Ant-Man to punch his something out of place in his chest.
And Loki gets away
with the Tesseract.
With the fucking Tesseract.
Which the Russos later go, They're like,
They
yeah,
didn't-
he's actually. They create an alternate reality where even when Cap goes back in the end, they can't fix that.
Yeah, there's an alternate reality that got launched where Loki is now like out there with the Tesseract, doing whatever.
Yeah,
Which
great.
is cool.
I love it.
And obviously, we know where that is going to lead
It's gonna
probably into
get
his
to that
show.
That so then Cap and Tony go with like a gut instinct and go back to the 70s, which is a really cool scene because you get to see Cap sort of have like his moment of realization that with his technology he can live a life with Peggy.
Yeah.
And you see Tony have a cathartic moment with his father where he pretty much just like gives his father the comfort of having a child and then also gets some kind of like understanding that his father really did love him despite how his father was harsh.
Yeah.
It was a very sort of like heartfelt moment between those characters.
Truly.
Meanwhile, Fat Thor and Rocket are in the events of the Dark World, which
Oh, God.
who would have fucking thought?
Yeah. But so they're in Asgard and they're there to try and pick up
The ether,
stuff.
yeah, the reality gem.
Yeah.
And I guess that so-and-so Russo, who plays Thor's mom, has more lines in Endgame than she did in the first 2 Thor movies.
Oh my gosh. Again, what a weird like utilization of like a good actress in a weird role.
She was really fucking good in Endgame, though.
Yeah,
she had a really good moment with Thor.
Which like, oh man, the moment like their conversation leading up to just like that pause.
She was totally aware that he was from the future. She's like,
Oh yeah, dude,
you're fat. You have a weird eye.
Like she instantly knew. Like,
Yeah, she's like, you're not Loki. You can't be like tricking people.
Yeah. Well, I guess a mother always knows. Is that it?
And
like,
fucking, it's assumed that Rocket like shoves that little thing up Natalie Portman's ass
and gets the
ether out of it.
I know. I love how like that became like the simplest task in the whole like.
And then he's running away, and the Asgardian soldiers are like, "Get that rabbit!"
Yeah.
and then Thor's over there. He's waiting for the hammer, which is a great moment for that character because he was like he'd given up on himself, but he genuinely he was still worthy.
Exactly, like he genuinely didn't know if it was probably showing up or not. Like,
yeah,
he was just like hoping,
and he was so fucking happy, which is a great nod to like how good Hemsworth is at portraying that character, because like if you didn't know I feel like most other actors want to be able to like portray that pure happiness.
Yeah.
In that character without like betraying the character, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was a cool scene for like, but I mean, definitely wasn't like the coolest hammer.
It wasn't.
Scene.
Whoa.
Hammer time came later.
Hammer time definitely came later.
So needless to say, they're all successful.
Yeah.
Except War Machine and Nebula have a certain hiccup that really causes a pretty big fuck up in the whole plan.
Nebula's like consciousness gets intertwined with her previous self, and Thanos from the past finds out their plan and like ends up following them back to the future. Also,
not just
we can't
Thanos,
we can't skip this. Black Widow and Ronan.
Oh yeah.
On Vormir, which I saw that coming. I was like, fuck. When I was watching it the first time, one of them is gonna have to kill themselves.
Yeah, I genuinely didn't think it was gonna be Black Widow. I thought it was gonna be Ronan, just because like they had already really played up like how little he gave a shit.
Yeah.
About like.
But then also it made complete sense because Black Widow had been trying to prove that she was a good person through all these movies because she used to be evil. She used to be evil pretty much.
Well, but here's the mistake. I think that a little bit like. I get this, like, throughout the movies, there's definitely all this mention of, like, her, like, needing to make amends and whatnot. But, like, you see very little of, like, what she means, like, what that is.
Yeah.
And so, like, everybody knows that they're making a prequel, like, Black Widow solo.
We're assuming it's a prequel now.
We're assuming, yeah, because she's fucking dead, and they, like, reiterated multiple times that she can't come back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, like, it'd be really strange if they, like, found a way to rewrite that.
Cap goes back.
Cap goes
Barters
back.
with Red Skull. Hey, can I have it?
Well, you mind staying here for a little longer?
Can we like make a deal.
I'll switcheroo. But like, I wonder like if that. I mean, they're gonna touch on that. They have to touch on like some sort of like part of her past, which I think they should. They would have been like. It would have been more impactful if they did that like before this.
Then at the same time, I thought that was one of the coolest moments in the film. Them acknowledging that one of them has to go and trying to be the first one that kills themselves.
Yeah, I mean that
was it was like intense. It was shocking. It was tense, and it was like.
But it was also kind of a call to like the first like Avengers movie when they were really interacting. Like a lot of their first interactions were them fighting each other basically.
Yeah.
And so it was like that's how those two interacted and like solved their problems with each other. Was like they would take some shots at each other and figure it out.
They'd have a little sparring session.
Which I thought that was kind of cool.
So then they go back to the present. They have sort of like they're all pissed because Black Widow died.
Yeah, and everybody shows back up except Black Widow.
And everybody just like it says it all on Cap's face. Just like he looks sad.
Well, yeah, I mean because they all like she was the last thing really like rooting for him to get back together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And nobody notices, for good reason, that they sent the wrong Nebula back.
Yeah, Nebula looks exactly the same as their other Nebula, so they don't.
They put on the metal, the different metal and everything on her.
And so she, like that was the thing.
But then I feel like it makes sense because she's like the resident outsider.
Yeah, well, that exactly.
Like she's the most detached of all.
They really don't fucking know her. You know what I mean?
I think the only thing that shows that they might know her a bit. And I feel like it's also put aside because they're dealing with other stuff that they wouldn't really talk much to her. But and she doesn't really know Black Widow that well, theoretically.
Yeah.
But I love that like her and War Machine earlier in the film when Ant-Man's just sort of chilling eating a taco. Like she comes and lands and just goes, "Watch her, Rhodey. There's an idiot in the re-entry zone."
Yeah. So I mean, it does show that she kind of like starts like falling in like with them, and like she gets like I don't know that. Which it was cool that like her and Rhodey of all people started developing like a cool rapport with each other.
Yeah, and I feel like those are two characters that I'd be really happy to see more of in the future.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're not.
Karen Gillan is great as Nebula, and Don Cheadle is like who's gonna fucking complain about War Machine in these movies?
Who's gonna complain about Don Cheadle being in anything?
Don
Cheadle's fucking rad.
It's like. I mean, like, people will say that War Machine's just a more boring Iron Man.
Nah,
well, fuck. There ain't no Iron Man anymore.
Dude, people that say that need to pick up some fucking 90s War Machine comics and like, tell me what's up then. But, okay, so they all get back, and the big fucking, moment is here. They build a Stark Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Which looks cool as fuck, I gotta say. Like, the Stark Gauntlet was rad. I mean, it's less gold than Thanos'
more red and gold.
But it's cool as shit.
And I love that Thor's like, let me do it.
Yeah, Thor really wants to fucking do it.
Yeah, like, which is understandable.
Yeah, dude, he's trying to, like, the entire, like, I feel like he's just constantly trying to make amends for fucking up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because, like, it is solely his fault that all this happened.
Dude.
When you break it down,
on him.
He had all the power in the world to just go for the head. And he eventually did. But he didn't do it at the right fucking time, did he?
Nope.
But he's like, what's going through my veins? And Don Cheadle, being the gift from God he is, goes, cheese whiz. And he goes, thunder!
No, thunder!
No, yeah, but Hulk ends up having his big moment, and he's the one to do the snap because the radiation from the gauntlet is mostly gamma, so they conclude that he's the one that can take the most brunt of it.
Yeah, he basically assumes that. I mean, what's the Hulk? He can fucking handle it.
He's gamma based.
Yeah, so he does, and he
he
struggles with it. Like he has a hard time snapping it, and it fucks up his arm. Like it burns him like all the way up.
Yeah,
basically, like it's like to probably his shoulder.
Yeah, to his shoulder. And that it's just like scrawny.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know.
It's like
we've all seen the Hulk. Like he's got big
the closest
muscles,
thing. The closest thing that I can think of is like I broke my arm a few years ago and didn't use it for like 4 months. And just seeing the muscular dystrophy and how it looked like skin and bone. Yeah. That's how his arm looked after that. And it's the fucking Hulk.
Yeah.
And so the gauntlet falls off and he's just laying there and they sort of like push the gauntlet away. Yeah, and Ant-Man walks away and sees like birds and everything, which it's it's actually confirmed that it didn't just kill half of humanity.
Oh, it killed half of wildlife. Like
killed
all
half
that
of
shit, right?
Yeah, it killed half of like conscious life.
Yeah.
Not like half of plants and stuff. Half of like conscious life.
So
there's a bunch of birds flying around outside. Ant-Man's like, it happened. We did it. And then he looks up, and there's a barrage of missiles coming from fucking Thanos' ship.
Because Thanos' ship traveled using some fucking pin particles and shit or whatever. Like, traveled through fucking...
Which, I love that moment
realm.
when it shows the tunnel, and I heard from you going, no fucking way.
Because you think it's just Thanos, dude, and then it's like, he shows up with his whole fucking armada. His whole fucking, like, all of his... He's just like,
the entire army and everything's there. And he just wrecks the Avengers
base. Which is crazy
base.
to think about that, like in terms of the timelines, though, because you think into the 2014 timeline that starts now.
Number one,
Thanos and his entire fucking army just completely disappear.
Yeah, so it's no longer a threat.
So he's no longer a threat. He's no longer on his quest for the stones.
But then also in that timeline, there's no Guardians of the Galaxy because War Machine clocked Peter Quill and then took the Power Stone.
So it's all just like, I mean,
there's another interesting timeline for them to delve into.
Yeah. But so Thanos shows up and just like fucking destroys the HQ.
Yeah,
like destroys it, and
he gets beamed down and he's just chilling. And he tells Nebula to like go and get him the gauntlet.
Yeah, because he's just chilling because he knows like the handful of things are gonna happen. Either they're gonna try and confront him, or
he's gonna get the gauntlet before anyone can fight him, and he's gonna be able to do it.
And he's not fucking sweating anybody that's gonna challenge him, and that's his fucking mistake, dude. He just underestimates people so much in this movie.
But he's like,
arguably though, he stands up.
He stands the ground, which shows how fucking powerful he is in comparison to all these guys.
Because who steps up to him, dude? It's
Thor,
Iron
Man,
Thor, and Captain America, right?
Which I love Thanos' speech before that, where he's like, "You cannot deal with your own failure."
Yeah,
and just like he doesn't even know these people.
I mean, it's true though. Like they couldn't.
and he's like, "So where'd you come to?" Back to me. And they're like, whatever. And Stark makes some quip about how they're resilient, and he's like, it didn't work the first time, you guys fixed it, so I'm just gonna destroy everything.
Yeah, he literally talks about just like destroying the fabric of reality, like destroying, like
doing
everything.
it again, and then doing it again in his image, so that way everyone will be grateful.
Which is some Secret Wars shit.
Yeah, that's some.
I mean, but that's like, oh man, like
that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, it shows not just how smart Thanos is and how just confident in himself he is, but how he is actually insane. And like, he was somewhat sympathetic in Infinity War, probably because that story was told from his perspective for a lot of it.
Yeah, which was actually really, I mean, that was an interesting part of it. But,
yeah, I think it was fucking awesome, this fight that then happened.
Yeah.
Because
well, like,
I love how it
three
starts.
of them are going at him.
I love how it starts where like Thanos is sword fighting with Thor and then pushes Thor away, Cap's running up to him, but he just like swats Captain America away and he gets launched, but then he immediately goes to like deflecting blasts from Iron Man, and he's like dealing with all three of them.
He had like one of the he was like spinning his sword so fast it was like deflecting the beam or whatever.
Yeah. Like, hot damn. He, one of my favorite moments in the film is when Thor is Iron Man is unconscious, Captain America's just recovering, and Thor's going at him himself, and Thor gets punched in the face, thrown through a rock, and is like getting clocked over and over by Thanos. And Thor pulls Stormbreaker back to him. And when this happened in my theater, there was an audible gasp, but Thanos grabs Stormbreaker and starts pressing it against Thor's chest.
Oh yeah, I mean that was cool just because like I mean that's what Thor did to fucking Thanos in Infinity War.
And there was like an oh fuck moment right there. It's like Stormbreaker's gonna take Thor out.
Yeah. But
then it led to debatably the greatest moment of that movie.
Led to Hammer Time.
Where you see the fucking hammer lift. And I was like, everybody was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. And like that's the second time that you see Thor like genuinely happy about that fucking hammer. It's
like it knocks Thanos off of him, goes back to Captain America. When I watched it on opening night, there was like a cheer in the audience.
Dude, Cap busted his fucking shit.
I love that
man.
Thor immediately goes, I knew it. And Thanos just kicks him in the face.
Yeah. Just to like knock him out of the way for a bit. Just knocks him fucking through that
But
rock.
Cap
or whatever.
stands up to Thanos.
Yeah, dude, that was like one of the coolest shits about that fucking movie. It was just like watching Cap like
He's rushing him, spinning the hammer.
yeah, dude, he's kicking him, he's punching him, he's hitting him with the shield.
You mentioned how great of a
like,
tactician like Cap is when he throws the shield, Thanos deflects it, but then he immediately drills the shield with the hammer and creates a sonic boom.
fucking dope. Which is also like another call to like the first Avengers movie when like
when
Thor like,
hits
whacks
it. Which that was a badass fight.
Yeah, it really was. And then
But then that moment when Thanos breaks the shield is just a pure callback.
and oh man, just that moment like where Cap's standing there.
They've succeeded in bringing everyone back, but that's debatably the lowest moment of the film.
Nobody showed up though.
Yet
man.
it's a crazy
There's
triumphant moment.
Cap's standing there, he's like getting his fucking ass kicked. Thanos is like about to just fucking overrun him.
He keeps getting up, and when he eventually gets up, he just tightens up the broken shield and is standing up Thanos' entire army.
Yeah, and
which is a gorgeous
and then
shot.
all those transportation spell circles start opening up.
Like, I love how it starts. Another callback to the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah,
on your left. Fucking Black Panther walks out.
Yep.
Great moment. Falcon flies out. You start seeing everybody come there, including Pepper Potts in a badass Iron Man suit.
Yeah, that was which you knew existed mainly because
the daughter was wearing the helmet earlier and just like messing around with it.
Yeah. So literally everybody shows up.
Like there were Wakandans, there were Asgardians, there were Ravengers, there were sorcerers.
Yeah.
Fucking Wong was there. And Valkyrie was on a Pegasus.
Yeah, everybody wants to know where Wong fucking went. Well, eventually he showed
Wong.
back up, dude. He was rallying troops.
Benedict Wong got a line.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was like, "Is that everyone?" He's like, "You wanted more?" What a moment! The swelling of the score there. I want this to win the Oscar for best musical score in a film.
Ugh,
because
I mean, maybe
when that shit built up. And it starts repeating like the dun 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 dun, and Cap drops like the Avengers assemble as he's pulling Mjolnir back to him. I was like, "Fuck, this is a gift from God."
Yeah,
like
it was. I mean, it got intense, man. It was a fucking everybody just.
War Machine's flying in an Iron Patriot suit with Rocket on his back.
But like through all this chaos and all this battle. For the second time in this movie, one machine was really gonna like save the day.
Yeah,
and it was Scott Lang's van. It was Scott.
I love it.
So
I think more so one thing that's also worth mentioning: every character has their moment in this final fight.
Yeah,
like,
it's true. They
all
get their time.
Have something.
They really do. They all get their time to do something.
Black Panther becomes the best fucking running back in the NFL, running the gauntlet to Scott Lang's van. The Wasp is fixing the van. Spiderman uses the instant kill mode in the Iron Spider suit and just starts wrecking a bunch of Thanos' troops.
A bunch of those cats
the legs are just going straight through him. Captain Marvel saves everyone. Scarlet Witch almost brutally murders Thanos.
Yeah.
She was about to tear him apart.
Yeah, when Captain Marvel shows up for the second little time that she's there, she's got her, let me see the manager haircut, and she actually does a good job. Arguably, and this was like an interesting thing about it. Like the little time she has, they flex how fucking powerful she is. Where she like, stands up to Thanos wielding the fucking Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, which somebody brought up like Thanos. Number one. He's got Stormbreaker being pulled towards him by Captain America and Thor. Mjolnir's pulling him down. He still incapacitates them, pushes Thor away, and then the punch that he gives Captain America in the face is just a clean knockout. And then Captain Marvel gets headbutted by him and doesn't fucking move.
Yeah,
it shows how powerful she is.
I mean, they really do. They really play up how
almost
powerful,
wildly overpowered.
Yeah, I mean, arguably wildly overpowered.
Yeah.
Well, because now you have to find a reason to find people more powerful than her for her to like
she
deal with later on. You know what I mean?
Surfer.
Which, yeah, I mean that'd be a good one.
She
if they
the only way that Thanos stops her is he dislodges the Power Stone and then punches her in the face with it.
Yeah, with like just pure powers. Like he basically uses his concentrated willpower to channel the energies of the Power Stone enough to fucking like do some damage on her, basically.
And she goes flying.
Yeah,
and that's when Doctor Strange is like, "This is it," and Stark grabs him, goes to I am Iron Man, snaps his fingers,
and then boom,
and kills all of Thanos' army.
Yeah, like turns Thanos' army to fucking dust. Like
Thanos sits for a moment.
He gets to he watches everything that he has basically get destroyed.
Corvus Glaive is doing the same thing that fucking Peter Parker was doing to Iron Man.
Yeah.
No, not Corvus Glaive.
He's fucking.
Forget it's the other the sorcerer-esque dude. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, the fucking Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw's walking. You see him in the background fading away and going up to Thanos like, no.
Yeah.
No.
And so everybody turns to dust. Iron Man basically burns like half of his fucking body, and then like says his goodbyes.
Yeah, he says his goodbyes to everyone, and I loved how like the Iron Man arc reactor going out is the sign that he's dead. Like that's it.
Yeah,
he's gone.
And then like a couple of the next pivotal scenes, like the next there's
they have sort of funeral.
They have Tony Stark's funeral, which I heard everybody was like.
Everyone was told it was a wedding.
Yeah. But like so, you have all these characters again assembled, and you see Black Panther, you see some of the Guardians, you see the
Black Panther looking fly as fuck.
You see, like Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan has such a sweet
daughter.
You see the daughter.
You see fucking the punk from Iron Man 3. Which like that kid's really petitioning, I think, hard to like get himself stuck in the Iron Lad role, but I don't think anybody wants it. So
I mean, we haven't heard anything from
Harvey. Nobody gives a crap about that character. Just let it go.
Iron Man 3 was disappointing to so many people that I don't think it's gonna happen.
Although I did hear that they're gonna like Kevin fucking Feige or whatever has plans to continue using the 10 rings in the future, which hopefully
I'm down.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I think actually
Happy
really
Hogan
cool.
spin-off. War Machine movie.
I mean, they could arguably make a Doctor Strange movie with like.
Well, that's true because there's some sorcerer stuff there,
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so they have the funeral. They put Tony to rest, and then Captain America takes on the it's later. They kind of go to another. A few days later, maybe.
Maybe.
And they find out Captain America's taking on the task of returning all the time stones.
He just grabs Mjolnir.
Yeah, grabs Mjolnir. He has like a case with all the fucking stones in it because earlier in the movie that was like the ancient one made a priority.
Like you have to bring him back to the exact point that they're taken away, otherwise like some fucked up shit's gonna go down here.
Yeah,
like specifically with the time stone. If they don't have the time stone, Dormammu's gonna be able to come.
Yeah, which exactly like if they didn't, I was thinking about that when we were watching it. Like if they didn't, like the events of Doctor Strange, like Dormammu would have just taken over the fucking Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they'd be screwed. It's like the only reason that they don't have to worry about Dormammu, which I'm confident they're gonna have to worry about Dormammu now.
He's an ongoing fucking threat.
Is that the only reason is because Doctor Strange made a time loop and pissed him off enough to agree to not come to Earth again. But now there's
pretty much.
But then now there's not a time stone, and I'm relatively confident of all fucking beings in the multiverse, Dormammu's gonna be completely aware that there's not a time stone.
Oh, 100. So Captain America takes the time stones back. They get him all like suited up, and he just boom, he goes.
And which Bucky says, "I'm gonna miss you." And they said there was a cut scene where he is talking about it with Bucky and tells Bucky.
Oh yeah.
But it got cut out because they thought it would remove the tension of that moment.
Fair enough.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Because when that happened, I was like, "What the fuck?" But then you piece it together in your mind.
Yeah. And so you see like Joe Biden sitting on there.
You took my joke. It's true though.
That's what I thought. Like, it's like I was looking at a picture, like I saw like a screenshot of like Chris Evans,
looks
old
just
Chris
like
Evans.
Joe.
It really does, dude. Like he looks like he's just gonna like grab your shoulders and like whisper something in your ear that you don't want to hear. And like,
Hydra.
but like so.
And
I don't know, like,
he goes back. He's got a wedding ring. It's assumed that he had his life with Peggy. It's confirmed later when they go back, and it's him dancing in the 1940s.
But like the repercussions of that, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, the writers talked about how like either there's two ways that it could have gone. He either decided to not like fuck with any world events and live hiding,
just
pretty much.
Quietly live like as a super
live a
soldier,
suburban life, and just trying to live that normal life that Tony Stark told me he should get. And then, or he kept the suit with him, the time travel suit, until a point where he could jump back. Which I think that's what makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I read that.
He's like over 100 years old too at that point.
Yeah, for real.
But like the super soldier serum has done him great things.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I was wondering about that too. Like, even if he goes back and lives like a regular life, like wouldn't he probably still outlive like everybody?
Yeah.
He's still got the super soldier
I think the
serum
writer
coursing
said
through
that
his
like if he jumped back, it was like right after Peggy died.
Well, I read that, and I heard that the screenwriters have like a different take on it than
like the Russo
brothers.
The Russos said that he just didn't mess with anything.
Yeah,
and then the writers were like, he came back after Peggy died in like 2015.
2015.
Well, or 2016 because it was Civil War was when she died and they had the funeral and everything.
Did he? Okay, yeah, fair
because
enough.
She had Alzheimer's.
They just kind of waited the last few years out and then like to like show up to that bench or whatever.
Yeah,
fair enough.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
don't know, man. Like it was just.
But that's
like
nitpicking at worst.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I tell people this all the time. It's like you're nitpicking a fucking movie about superheroes and space travel and like all this shit. It's like ultimately like.
There's something
let
like
it make sense.
Every 5 years or so, there's an event in comics where they wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, and they're probably doing that with movies. Like with these movies, dude. They've been around for it's
11 years now.
Exactly. It's been over a decade of these fucking movies,
and they
probably need to wipe a little bit off the slate.
And they sort of do. They hand off Captain America to fucking Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
Which I watched an interview with Anthony Mackie. He hasn't even seen the fucking Falcon Captain America suit yet. Like,
damn. I'm excited to see what that shit's about, dude.
Because the one in the comics is badass.
Yeah, the one in the comics looks fucking rad.
And the shit that he does flying with that shield is so cool.
Word.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if the series, they go very close to the comics, where he is, like, not quite sure about it. Not quite sure about his identity as Captain America.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like Iron Man and, like, Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man wants to become the next Iron Man, but he needs to be the first version of himself. I think there's going to be the same thing there. Because there's so much legacy, and he even says it when he gets the shield. It's like it feels like somebody else's.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like his. But like,
hopefully he gets used to it, man.
I feel like that's gonna be. They said it's gonna be a 6-hour runtime on that Falcon Winter Soldier show. They're gonna do 6 episodes.
6 episodes out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like either way, like Endgame was awesome. It was it was a glorious fucking cap to the last 10 years of Marvel movies for sure.
Yeah.
I would definitely. Well, I can't wait for it to like just come out because
I'm gonna buy it
right away.
I don't see why not.
Like people always hesitate. They're like, maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. Like, dude, just go. You're gonna want to watch it again.
Let's fucking push it past Avatar.
Yeah.
Give it whatever it takes because this is a better movie than Avatar.
It definitely is. I fucking hate Avatar. Avatar's a shitty movie.
I
don't understand why everybody likes that movie.
I watched it when I was like
anti-hype to me.
I watched it when I was like 12, and I was like, "Whoa, I want to live on Pandora."
Blue cat people hopping from tree to tree.
Let's have tail sex.
Let's have tail sex.
Like, we're stay away from that.
Man. So
quick water break and
little Earth Aqua. It's good for you. That's a PSA.
Product placement.
Drink water. Product placement. Drink water.
First sponsor from Bold Heart Radio, Mother Nature.
Refreshing and nutritious.
Water.
It's like, everybody drinks it.
PSA, drink water.
Yeah, drink more water, kids.
So, from here on out, gotta catch up from the most recent Marvel thing that just came out.
What is that?
We're talking about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Season 6. Episode 1.
The
The Coulsoning.
The Coulsoning. It's like that episode had some really cool trailer shots. You know, I love seeing the trailer shots in movies or in the TV episodes. But the most shocking thing about that was not the appearance of Phil Coulson as the evil, or tentatively evil, Sarge. I don't know.
To our knowledge,
he may have
evil.
He may have good intentions from his perspective,
but
he's
you never know.
And he,
Ooh, spooky.
Where will this head?
Where will this go? Though I found the most shocking thing to be the super low budget robot hands on Yo-Yo.
Oh man, they have not upgraded. So Yo-Yo got her fucking paws chopped off
In a brutal scene in the last season.
And they just replaced them. They basically
those arms look good last season.
They gave her, but this season they just have like these like
we're gonna get you some mittens.
They basically
and
gave
we're
her
gonna gorilla glue some
long
metal plates on the
sleeve
end of them.
shirts. And yeah, like gray gloves, man.
I saw that. I was like, motherfucker, those are cool.
Anyway, but Yo-Yo, I mean, like, so
Yo-Yo's getting fucked with someone else in the back.
yeah, Yo-Yo's costume design is fucking whack. She's also getting fucking.
She's getting hooked up with random new dude who I think died.
Is that the dude with the scar on his face that you were talking about?
No, not Davis.
It was the Shaggy dude.
Shaggy
dude.
Shaggy dude who had speaking lines, but I think died at the end.
Yeah, I thought I saw him die also.
I saw his
that
body.
Independence Day explosion. And
You're right. I didn't notice that the first time I watched this, but total Independence Day vibes.
Oh yeah, dude, it was like this like blue beam beaming through a fucking building.
Blue beam through the sky.
Oh, dude, you'll have to watch it, people. Listeners, just go watch it.
But
it was
this episode. I feel like was everything that was shown in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it's as big as you expect the show to be.
They went full Guardians of the Galaxy.
Left off. They really,
and it doesn't really leave. It doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Like it starts off, dude. It starts off with them like space traveling, not just like going to the fucking moon and back.
Should we drop a general spoiler warning for this segment of the show, which we're gonna try and do every week and talk about this show? We're gonna be dropping spoilers. So if you're keeping up, watch the episode first, then come back here and listen.
Yeah, there you go. There's your one spoiler warning. So
I'll do some obligatory thing like that every episode. So we'll go from there.
Well, yeah.
It starts off with Fitz's like crowd chamber. He's there. He's out, and you see some ships coming, and they cut his ship in half.
Yeah. Okay. So I was wondering what that fucking beam was, man. But like they do. They just like his ship gets cut in half, and then you find like parts of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crew. Who's flying in space?
Was that Davis, Piper, Gemma, and Daisy?
Yeah. So they're like they're just exploring space, trying to find Fitz, basically.
And they're holding aliens hostage, trying to get fuel.
And apparently, Quake has like made a name for herself across the galaxy as
on the galactic stage. Destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy. But I mean, not.
Which they bring up later,
unjustified, because she is ridiculously.
She's more powerful than most of the Avengers.
Yeah, dude.
Like she they mention at some point that like they have fucking no crew left on the Zephyr.
Yeah.
But they have her, and she's strong enough to make everyone afraid of them.
Yeah, and they did. And she like there was this kind of like really slight line where it was like, I'm not gonna apologize for like being the strong.
She wants
person or whatever.
Because,
like,
she's trying to like show force.
Yeah, she's trying to like show off, like show strength, so they don't get fucked with. Because as you find out later on, like their ship basically has like no fucking defense.
Yeah.
Or like offensive capabilities.
The Confederation from the last season, like it's like on Earth.
Yeah.
The Zephyr's fucking massive.
Yeah.
But then you see like very quickly. It's dwarfed by this other ship.
Yeah, dude.
That starts shooting at them.
I was surprised by that, like, because I was, I was still kind of thinking, like, how, like, the Zephyr's fucking big. It's a big ass fucking plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you see that other ship pull up next to it, and then like, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah,
they got shit.
Yeah, they're completely outclassed.
But they are like just out there in space, man. Like they mentioned like a handful of different places they stopped already before this episode takes place.
Probably have some kind of merit in the comics.
Yeah, and probably
yeah.
But like it sounds like they've really just been like.
They said it's been a year.
Yeah, they've been like you said, kind of giving it the Guardians treatment where they've
Yeah.
just been like really fucking out there. But the cool thing is, like, I think they have the storyline in space, but they also have the storyline on Earth.
Yeah.
Which,
It's interesting. I can't wait for them to come back together.
yeah. So it'll be Well, that's
They got sort of the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe going on. They got this weird dimensional thing going on. We think.
Yeah.
Nothing's really been explained.
like, they've introduced a couple new characters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think 2 of them are dead already.
But yeah, but like you said, they don't give you any explanation for the events. They just kind of hit the pedal and start going.
Just go, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, I love the show already. I mean, like, I want to see what the fucking characters are get into.
Yeah, we're invested in these characters already. We're gonna watch it every week.
And yeah, we're gonna watch it every week. And then there's what after this? You said that
They've already greenlit one more season.
One more season,
But nothing confirmed past that.
fair enough.
But this season's gonna be shorter too than the normal 22 episodes. There's gonna be 12. So I think they're gonna maybe do like one big arc rather than like the 2 that they usually do in a season.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, they will probably take a good amount of time.
It was like, I think season 4. It was like the first half was paranormal Ghost Rider stuff, and the second half was like Terminator / The Matrix, and which were both super cool and a very smooth transition between the 2 as well.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, like, maybe that'll just be the case then. They'll probably just find a way of like smoothly transitioning these 2 storylines back together. And you'll probably feel like you're
something cohesive.
Yeah.
And I feel like sort of with Mac, everybody's in sort of an uncertain role currently as well. Like there's some kind of tension going on between the team.
Yeah.
Like Mac's not quite confident yet in his abilities. May's sort of partially running the show as well.
May's always been partially running the show, I feel like.
Even
Even when Coulson was in
badass.
charge, dude, people would it's like Coulson would give an order, but then like everybody would listen to what May said afterward.
Yeah, Coulson would be the guy like at the table watching over everything for a lot of stuff, but May was the person in the field calling the shots.
And I think that's kind of one of those things they've made Mac's character feel that like weird pull of like, how does he do like the shot calling when he's really like only... I mean, he's just kind of like more experienced in the field at this point.
Yeah, like
rather
he's a mechanic / just like a brute.
Yeah.
But like they
slash a dude with a fucking battle axe shotgun.
Yeah,
you know.
Which, I mean, like, love that character. He was very shallow right at the start.
He was,
but
like,
then they gave him a great arc.
Like Yo-Yo, we were talking about this.
I know.
Like Yo-Yo, I just thought Mac like way long ago when they introduced him. I thought he was just gonna be an in and out kind of character,
like throwaway, and then they made him a mainstay.
Yeah, which was fucking awesome. Like I loved that they picked a handful of characters that developed right that just like ended up working. For
And I love the merit of him being the director. It's because he's got a heart of gold, and he's the guy who like gives the most shits about everyone else.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. He's not like out. He's not doing it for the wrong reason.
He's the fucking Captain America of the group. You know,
much.
Like he's the selfless guy. He's the guy to do the group play. He's the guy to not be. He's the guy not to make a selfish decision.
Truly.
Well, like you could see it. Like I think in season 2, there's some people on YouTube watching through all the series right now. In season 2, there's this season 3 when Coulson goes and kills Ward on Mavith and accidentally unleashes Hive. Like he puts Mac in charge, and Mac's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you're the only person that isn't out for blood right now."
Fair enough.
And I feel like that's a consistent thing about his character. He's willing. He knows who they're against, but he doesn't get unhinged. Even like Coulson did at one point.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just started back up. Definitely going to keep watching that.
Yep.
As it goes on. Like
11
one
more
down,
episodes.
11 more to go.
Yep. Got the little stinger of Fitz at the end.
Yeah, Fitz is like on some new drug, it looks like.
Yeah, his eyes are glowing.
Damn, dude.
Fuck knows what's going on there.
Alright, and then also more fucking Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
Dude, like they just like I'm actually really excited about. No, I'm not. Let's see. I'm more excited about like what this movie might open up in the Marvel universe than I might be about the movie itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like there's that clip where they officially dropped the
616
MCU
stuff.
is in a 616 universe. There's an active multiverse.
And that Mysterio's from like 999.
833.
833?
Yeah.
That was it. Okay.
And or something.
But then
It's
at the
like
same
8-3
time,
something.
you take it with a grain of salt because it's Mysterio.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Like, I mean,
It could be bullshit.
it could be bullshit. It could just be like, you know, part of the whole fucking mystique of it all. You know, Mysterio. But I think
X-Men.
I keep saying like thinking that like, you know, like it's a really obvious and easy way to like say like all the fucking width of the cosmic energy has like
We might
messed
see
around
some.
and opened up these things, or
We
like,
might
opened
even
up-
see like some cosmic entities pop up.
which would be awesome, dude. Like
It was said
what
that
if-
it was said that Eternity was supposed to be an Infinity War.
yeah, I heard the Living Tribunal was actually considered.
Yeah. Living Tribunal,
to
not
pop in
Eternity.
there, and it would like
That'd be
I don't know,
badass.
dude. Like they,
I think Galactus is coming.
I think they need to like pace themselves with how they do introduce these characters because they're just started building a believable space universe.
I think
You
they're
know
going
what I mean?
to go back to what they did in Phase 1, where it's going to be like another 5 years before you see an Avengers movie. Versus
Yeah.
these past few years, it's been like 2-3 years between Avengers.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start doing more solo movies. You're gonna see a Black Panther 2. You're probably gonna see Doctor Strange 2. You're
Captain
gonna,
Marvel.
You know those.
I don't think
characters that they
we're going to
wanna-
be having any origin stories anymore. I
No,
think they're past that. I think they might do like picking up in somebody's story who's introduced in another film.
Yeah, well, like they kind of how they introduced Black Panther.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
which worked so
well.
well.
Like if they
And
could just
Spider-Man,
continue
too.
to do that with characters they want to introduce.
No.
Like they could endlessly introduce characters.
I think that's also what worked in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh,
It's a
absolutely.
movie that I love.
Homecoming was such a fucking good movie, dude.
Yeah.
I know a whole bunch of people that love the Marvel movies but just hadn't bothered to see it because they're like, it's another Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, you all fucking missed out, man. Like,
Yeah, it's a great movie.
it's a great movie, and clearly the sequel is gonna have like some major repercussions for other shit.
I saw a theory that Mysterio, at the end of Far From Home, is gonna get like seriously injured, and it's gonna reveal that he was never actually a person, but he was a Doombot.
A Doombot. Oh man.
What
That would be the most Shyamalan twist.
But then also, I think the
That'd be
Fantastic
fucking
Four is
funny.
right around the corner.
Dude, it
Mostly
has
because
to
the
be.
Fantastic Four were just reintroduced into Marvel Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fantastic, I fucking love this. Mr. Fantastic looks just like John Krasinski.
Of course he does.
It's uncanny.
Well, dude, I feel like John Krasinski's been on their radar, not just because like there's a massive positive response to like the whole online fan casting of him,
And
Mr.
and
Fantastic,
the
but
The Quiet Place was phenomenal.
The Quiet Place was phenomenal. So it showcased his non-comedic chops.
I don't know
But
if
it
you've seen
also-
Jack Ryan yet, but Jack
he-
Ryan's really good.
There's that. He's proven he can be kind of action.
Yeah.
But and he's also he was up for the he's
He was
going
gonna
to
be Captain America.
He tried out for the part of Captain America, so
Yeah.
they probably like have kept him on their radar a little bit since then.
Yeah, I think at that point he was too like office fresh,
Exactly.
but now he's gotten some different stuff under his belt.
Yeah.
He's directed.
Dude, he's perfect for that fucking role.
I would love it.
I would love that fucking shit.
He's
I
fucking-
just
he's
don't know
fucking
who
ripped, but he's
the
also
thing
lengthy
would be.
enough.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
like
The
that's
Rock.
my biggest fucking problem. I don't want The Rock to be the fucking thing.
Why not? That would be great.
It would be. He has to
Just for the irony of it.
I mean, he probably would do well. I mean, it's The Rock. He's
What
not
would-
going to do wrong with it. But like,
He was great in Skyscraper.
I don't
and
wanna see-
Skyscraper was Skyscraper.
ugh. I don't want to see The Rock in a superhero movie until he's done doing
Black
Black Adam
Adam.
movie. And if that is either good or bad, then we'll go from there.
Who would actually let's just throw it out there. So one thing we wanted to talk about briefly was stuff we're excited for in the future.
Word.
So who would you like to see cast? I mean, we've made John Krasinski immediately clear.
Yeah.
I love Emily Blunt as the Invisible Woman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I've not seen Emily Blunt enough stuff that I give a shit about to like
Solely because
care
like
for her as an
her
actress.
and
but-
John Krasinski, whenever they're together, have really good chemistry. Probably because they're actually married.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably work. But again, it also depends on like what kind of storyline they're gonna go with too in the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, like as we saw with like the unsuccessful Fantastic Four reboot, they tried to go with a younger version of
Maybe they'll
a
go
more like ultimate universe friendly
Yeah.
version of the fucking
I feel-
Fantastic Four, and it doesn't work. Nobody wants to see that. I want to see
Yeah.
some gray streaks in Mr. Fantastic's fucking hair. Like,
I think we're gonna get.
I think we're gonna get that.
But I think
but
the thing it'd be really cool if the thing was like I'm trying to Like,
don't know.
get like John Cena.
Like, oh god, John. Yeah, but you have to like. That's the thing. Like,
why not? Oh, wait, he's gonna be in Suicide Squad too.
I guess it doesn't really matter because whoever plays the Thing is just gonna be a CGI'd fucking character. So
I would love if they find a way to do it practically though.
Oh, there's.
That'd be great.
Fucking so
Paul Bettany does 5 hours in makeup to look like the Vision.
Yeah, where's the fucking dedication, man? Human Torch can't obviously be Chris Evans, so it has to be somebody
Michael B.
else.
Jordan.
Oh man. I love that they're both like other. I just like they're both other characters in that.
Hellboy didn't do shit. Let's get David Arbor as the Thing.
There's the Thing. David Harbour is his name, man. I would actually like that. Yeah, dude. Hellboy didn't do shit. I mean, I didn't even go see it, so I don't.
It flopped hard. It domestically made like something like 30 million less than its
right
budget.
Out the gate, it had like 3% on the fucking Rotten Tomatoes
Disappointing.
or some shit.
Those
Like,
Hellboy movies are solid.
I mean, whatever. Not everything. Not
everything's
fucking,
gonna be
this was like where the explosion fuck up. Not every fucking comic book or character in a comic book makes for a great fucking movie character.
I mean, I think that it's more disappointing because the other Hellboy movies are actually good. You know?
Yeah, the other Hellboy movies are pretty cool. Like
Ron Perlman Hellboy is actually like a good time to watch.
Yeah, the first Hellboy movie is really cool. The second one gets really fantastical and like definitely is. Anyway, like I said, I just personally think not every fucking character needs to be on the big screen.
I mean, they're gonna be. It looks like Marvel's gonna be doing the Liu Kang. No, that's a Mortal Kombat character.
But Mortal Kombat is. I just saw this. James Wan is making a Mortal Kombat movie.
Really?
Yeah, and it starts shooting in like June.
What?
In Australia.
What a quick turnaround.
Yeah. So I know, but isn't that fucking crazy, dude? Like I was like, oh my god, this better have.
Shane Li. That's it.
Yeah. The master.
Master of Kung Fu.
Like,
sorry,
but oh man.
I think is that racist?
No,
okay.
Dude, Liu Kang, Kung Fu, whatever.
It's a small character. Not everyone knows it.
Man, if somebody's gonna get butthurt about it, they're gonna get butthurt about it. Everybody gets butthurt about all sorts of things these days.
That's fair.
It's fair. But seriously though, like I don't know, like they're Marvel's gonna be pushing a whole bunch of shit onto the Disney Plus screening or service, which will be really cool to check out. But actually, the stuff I'm most like in terms of like smaller screen stuff, I'm most interested in from Marvel, I think are not going to be on the Disney Plus service. Like the Ghost Rider series that just got
from Hulu.
From Hulu.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking interested in that because Ghost Rider is such a cool character.
It's gonna be the same guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
But they said that's not gonna address Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, which is the weirdest fucking
bullshit.
Thing. Like that's the thing. Why pick that character up then if you're not gonna fucking connect it? Just fucking boot it then.
It's infuriating to me.
But
it should be.
Either way, I just really want to see that character be like as badass as it was, as he is. Dude.
He had very limited screen time on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but everything we saw of him was fucking awesome.
Truly.
Like at one point, also, for those that don't know, this Ghost Rider doesn't have a motorcycle. He has a fucking Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
And at one point, it gets shot with a rocket. It does a flip, bursts into flames, and then, like, runs over a dude. It's fucking awesome in the most, like, corny way.
True. Ah, man. But, yeah, I can't wait for that shit. Like, it's all those little things. That's my biggest, like, the most fun I have with all this stuff is, like, is just seeing if it turns out. Like, I'm so used to, like, there's so much shit. So used to, like them launching shitty fucking versions of these characters that it's just more cool when the random one is like storyline is good.
Yeah, imagine when there's
I'm used to this shit.
There's gonna be a time when we get a really good like Moon Knight thing.
Oh, dude,
and it's gonna blow our minds.
Like now that all those series are canceled on Netflix, I'm so fucking bummed that they never decided to actually try and make a Moon Knight series.
Maybe that'll happen on Disney Plus.
I just don't think Disney Plus is gonna go as hard.
Well,
I really don't.
I mean,
because Disney
they're doing The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which Star Wars, very notoriously kid friendly, but they said that's gonna be like a hard R.
It better be, dude. Because
and if I think that pans out, then fuck it.
Like they
do some cool Marvel stuff.
Audience, man. Like people are that like this shit that grew that really have latched on this shit are getting steadily older.
Yeah.
And they don't want to always see kid-friendly versions of this fucking shit.
As fun as
that's why Logan. That's why Deadpool.
It works.
Those fucking movies work so well.
There's a place for the more kid-oriented stuff. We went and watched Into the Spider-Verse together.
Yeah, there's totally
and that was
a place
a blast.
Yeah, totally.
That's absolutely a kid-friendly movie.
There's totally a place for kid-friendly stuff. I'm just
you go and watch a movie like Logan, where it's mature, it's heavy shit, and it's equally as enjoyable. Like, if not more so, because you're able to appreciate. At that point, it really becomes like, not to say that like kids movies, especially like animated ones, aren't like an art form, but it becomes mature. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think, I think they need to kind of keep paying attention to that, and hopefully, that's my biggest fear is Disney is constantly acquiring more and more and more.
Eventually, we'll just be
Disney just like this.
I'm
last
gonna go
week,
home.
Disney actually just fucking bought Hulu. Like,
well, that came with Fox.
Did it?
Yeah. Fox Hulu was a Fox property.
So the Fox deal went through, and then they just announced that the Hulu deal went.
Yeah, it was either they're gonna shut down Hulu
or they were gonna fully acquire it and take it over.
And it seems like they might integrate Disney Plus with Hulu.
Yeah, well, I mean that'd be a smart way of doing it rather than just like launching their own streaming services.
I saw a hypothetical where it's like someday we're gonna go home and watch a Netflix, or we're gonna go to the movies and watch a Disney. It's like that's might be it at some point, or we'll just watch a Disney, like everywhere.
That's disturbing to me.
But
anyway, that's the
So we're talking about more mature content here. Your thing, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
You wanted to discuss this, so
Game of Thrones.
How are you feeling about this last season? I'm caught up theoretically. I've watched some episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
but
honestly, I'm only into watching the final episode of Game of Thrones just to say I've watched the entire show.
It's rant time.
I've really divested from the fucking show. It was really cool when it started this season, and then like it immediately started tanking. The way they wrote off like the entire series is building up to fucking battling the White Walkers and this army of the undead. And they do it all in one night. Boom, it's done, over with. And then the next episode, it's just like dribble. And then the most recent episode, it just doesn't make any sense in terms of what the fucking characters are doing. Like, you have all these characters that you've watched grow and change, and like you're like, okay, yeah, I know where they're at, like, and then like just bullshit. Like Daenerys,
I feel bad for
I
feel bad for anybody who named their kid Khaleesi.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, dude. Well, I watched this video. It was this really great YouTube video. If you look it up, it's 3 minutes of Game of Thrones stars like disappoint or
I saw that
about like the fucking ending. Like a reporter just like straight up asked Daenerys, Emilia Clarke, like how it ended, and she just like if she likes the way it ended, and she just laughs. Like there's like this awkward pause, and then she just like laughs, and then
that's demeaning.
Fucking Jon Snow just straight up says it's disappointing.
That's the shit that like the current like X-Men cast are doing about Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, dude, it's just
it's
just garbage.
Which like that's getting written away.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones has a legacy. People love that.
Well, and not just that, but HBO is trying to build off of this series. Like they're trying to do like other prequel things, and like they're trying to build off this franchise.
If
but
they
if
fuck it up now,
yeah, you're gonna lose all your fans.
Yeah,
like 100%. It's just like people pay attention to these fucking characters, and as trivial as that sounds, when we're talking about a fucking television show, people pay attention to these characters, and like if you fuck them over like that, like if you completely go against what people where they've been headed, it just doesn't make any sense to people, and you don't want to fucking watch it. Like, I want to watch the final episode because I just want the series to fucking end.
Do you think that there is potential for this final episode to actually top it off well?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I genuinely don't. I think the final episode will probably have like some sort of like
you think it's gonna be forced?
Jon Snow and Arya and like a couple of other fucking people trying to kill Daenerys, and then Daenerys will probably die, or she'll probably kill everybody and take over Westeros, which would also be that would probably be the most interesting ending at this point. Is if Daenerys kills Jon Snow, kills the rest of the Starks, and actually takes over Westeros, and it ends with her just like ruling with her fucking dragon
and with an iron fist.
Yeah, just like basically like if
incinerating.
anybody says anything against me, I'm burning you.
I saw something where like theoretically you make a cool ending where like Daenerys kills Jon Snow, but then Arya kills Daenerys, and it was just all for nothing. Like no one gets the fucking throne.
Yeah, that would also be like that'd probably also be a satisfying.
And Arya just walks away and goes back to the north, and everyone lives under Sansa.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, that'd suck. But
I feel like that's sort of the point, is that all these people are just like fuckers who are ultimately all horrible in some way, except for like I've been told Jon Snow is like the purest one left.
And it's just and like I said, I guess the biggest like fucking reason why I don't care and why other people are starting not to care anymore is again they just don't give a shit about the characters. Like okay, so you have Varys. Varys is the fucking Spider-Man.
I heard about this.
He is like he's the most sly motherfucker in the entire Seven Kingdoms. Like he's like the Family Guy gag where it's like the blind guy with like who was like covered in baby oil or whatever, and you have to try and catch him or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that's Varys. Like you can't fucking
squirming
you
away.
can't hold on to him. He's all like.
He's always finding a way to get away.
And so like this episode starts off with him just like walking up to somebody on the fucking beach and just like trying to insinuate treason or instigate treason. Insinuate. He's just trying to instigate treason, and it's just like so fucking out of character. And then immediately after that, he just gets burned alive, and you're just like, okay, so that's the way his fucking character ends after all of this shit, after all the fucking build up of this character in the source material.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. It's like if they took, I don't know, man. It's like if they just took like a fucking random Marvel character. If they just took Captain America, and he woke up from ice, and then he was running around New York, like that little scene, and then he just gets hit by a car or like hit by a semi truck, and he actually fucking dies or something. And you're just like, oh, okay, so that fucking blows.
When you started that analogy, I thought you were gonna be going for like, when he said Hail Hydra, he actually became evil.
No, I mean although that's a whole theory. Like that.
It's just so against the established character.
Yeah, it's just bullshit.
Which
and so,
I'd just like to say, Harrison Hannon, if you're listening to this, you bet me $5 on whether Avengers Endgame or Game of Thrones would fuck up the ending. You owe me $5.
Definitely Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is fucking up hard. And what pisses me off even further is that
I don't care how happy you are that Sansa's still alive.
Who gives a fuck about Sansa?
She's hot, dude.
She's hot. If she's so hot, you can go watch Dark Phoenix.
Ooh.
Ooh. They need the ticket money. Yikes.
Hey, on that note, New Mutants got delayed by another year.
They just need to let that fucking movie die, dude. Like nobody's looking. People.
They put out a trailer a year ago.
People are more looking forward to Suicide Squad 2 than they are fucking New Mutants.
I think it's gonna end up just burning in hell somewhere.
There's just gonna be a straight to fucking stream movie. It's gonna go
or not even. I think Disney might be too embarrassed.
They just put it on Crackle.
Oh no.
The only other movie to debut on Crackle was Joe Dirt 2.
I would love it if, like, as a fuck you, that's the last thing Disney gives to Netflix. Like,
New Mutants.
Like, sell this fuckers.
Like, nobody fucking cares about that shit. It's like that fucking Runaways.
I've actually heard that's good.
I've heard that that's like the OC version of a fucking Marvel show. And I tried to watch the first episode once.
Oh, I
couldn't get that out of my head. And so I just stopped watching it.
I think everyone's forgotten at this point that there's a Cloak and Dagger series on ABC.
They have a second season out.
Dude, I heard it's fine. I watched the pilot. I was like, oh, teen drama.
I can't handle it. It was too teeny.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah, man. It's like it feels like one early season of like a CW show.
And Cloak and Dagger is so cool.
That's the thing. I mean, like again, it's like like those characters are really cool, but like the way they're translating them just doesn't fucking work for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So back to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones garbage. The writers are going to be moving on to a Star Wars trilogy after this, which I definitely am not going to look forward to because they clearly don't understand how to deal with established characters.
Yeah.
Like,
which hopefully, if they're going to be doing a Star Wars trilogy, it's going to be from scratch.
I mean, it better be.
They said that
it better be from scratch because if they fuck with characters that's
they're gonna piss everyone off more than they did with the Last Jedi.
Well, yeah, dude, and I mean, I don't know, man. They may make small beans out of what the fuck they're doing with Game of Thrones, but if you fuck with something like Star Wars, which is like an institution in itself,
the Game of Thrones is loved. Star Wars is like
Star Wars is life.
Like Star Wars, people have lived to watch Star Wars,
dude,
and died before now,
dude,
and fucking loved it.
People's last wishes have been to see like the newest Star Wars movie before cancer eats away at them. You know what I mean? Like that shit is fucking real.
Look,
nobody's like, I gotta catch the final episode of Game of Thrones before this fucking brain aneurysm. Like, no, nobody gives a fuck about that shit. But Star Wars is fucking like, it's like, don't fuck with it, man. Give them some new characters to destroy and then just move on. Like,
I was like really hoping they do like Old Republic with the Game of Thrones guys. I thought that'd be really cool.
I've heard that Old Republic's gonna be like down the line, if anything. Like,
I know,
like, it's so loved by people. Like,
it's really detached, which I think is the beauty of it.
Yeah,
like I think they
could be good for something like that.
Yeah, they could connect with what's going on, but they could tell a whole new story. I think that would work. Well, I saw the whole thing of like maybe Snoke's from the Old Republic, and that's his whole backstory.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was supposedly like some sort of ancient evil guy who got locked away.
Well, he got cut in half with his dick out, so he.
That was that was so weird though. Like, I mean,
I actually like the first time I watched The Last Jedi, I was like, oh, cool, subversion. Like,
I mean, it was
and I thought it was fun. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh, okay. I'm not as hard on it as a lot of people are.
Neither am I, but reflecting on it, I do think that they just jumped through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean?
Like it should have been much more thorough. There was some lapses.
Yeah.
The direction's fantastic. True. The writing is not solid. That sums up perfectly. Should we touch on our last little bullet point here? The up and coming John Wick.
Oh man. Yeah, well,
I'll touch on
it, man.
You're yet to watch a John Wick film.
Yeah, I'm hoping to watch John Wick 2 sometimes.
Me and my girlfriend have been watching through these fuckers, and my god, they're so fun. There's no character I've been able to get like emotionally behind more in recent history than John Wick. Mostly because like it fucking starts with them murdering his puppy. Like and also, it's why I love this most recent episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It just says, fuck you, we're going for it. And you go for it. It's like, there's no establishment in the world that we live in. All you know is that he's an ex-hitman, and some Russian gangster just killed his puppy that his dead wife left him.
And so he's like out for blood? He's
out for blood because his wife died like a week earlier. His wife, like... After she died...
Who do you think would win in the fight real quick? John Wick or Ronan?
That would actually be a great fight. Because holy shit, I think Ronan has
families.
I think Ronan has better aim. but like John Wick's badass. John Wick does like gun fu. You know, like
did you say
gung,
like with a
gung,
G at the end?
Gung fu. No. Gun fu.
Okay, so
it's fucking badass.
Just hold on, because I've heard this before. So John Wick is like it basically all gets fueled by the death of his dog. Is that what you're telling me right now?
So pretty much his wife dies right at the beginning of the first movie.
Oh, dies.
And I guess it's hinted at. They don't expand on it because they've got like Russians to shoot in the head.
Fair enough. They focus
she's
on.
got that she had some kind of long-term disease.
She wasn't killed or anything.
No, she wasn't. She was murdered. She had like a long-term disease, like it was cancer or something.
Okay.
And she knew she was gonna die, so she like made it so when she died, he would get something.
Okay. Because
he was a very isolated person. Like there's a bunch of scenes of like him at the funeral, but like he's not interacting with anyone. Like it's all her family. Like, he's very isolated. So
Okay.
it's like after the funeral, he gets a package with a letter from his wife saying, like, I want you to have somebody to grieve with, somebody to care about. And he opens that up, and there's this little puppy. And the next day, he's driving. He's got this fucking awesome, like, Shelby Mustang. And he's driving around, and there's these gangsters that pull up in this BMW next to him. They're like, cool car, man. How much you want for it? And he doesn't. And they start talking in Russian. He's like, every bitch has a price. And he looks at him, and he goes, I don't have a price, bitch, in Russian.
Oh shit.
And then he drives away and acts like nothing else of it. It's also a dude from Game of Thrones who's the bad guy in this. But then they wake up in the middle of the night. The puppy wakes him up, and he goes downstairs, gets his ass kicked with like a baseball bat by these Russian goons, and the puppy's whining, and you hear one of the Russians goes, "Shut up, that dog!" And then you see him swing the bat, and you hear the dog cry, and it's covered in blood, and he's like crawling over. He's like holding the puppy.
That's fucked up, dude.
It's fucked up.
That's fucking hard,
But
man.
then and you see him crying, and it's like, but then it hard cuts to like the leader of like the Russian gang getting a call from a dude who's working on the car, like, fuck, dude, this is John Wick's car.
Oh man.
And he's like, and he goes to his son, he like slaps him across the face and starts beating him up, and being like, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? The kid's like, who is this dude? And he's like, you know, the boogeyman. And the dude's like, the story that everyone told us as a kid to make us scared. And they're like, John Wick's the man you send to kill the fucking boogeyman. So they just like start throwing everyone at him.
Damn.
And it's just like,
So
it's you can't not be behind him as a character because like so much bad shit's happened to this guy.
Yeah. So you just want to support him.
You want to support him, and not because he's a good guy. It's implied that he's been a hitman like his entire life.
Yeah. Okay.
But like they killed his fucking dog.
Damn.
Which
Well,
when I was watching this with when I was watching this with my girlfriend, she started crying when the dog died, and it was like, yeah, no shit, it's fucking brutal what they do to the dog. And he's like, Keanu Reeves is surprisingly compelling and emotional in this. And for like 10 minutes, and then he gets his game face on and just starts brutally killing everyone.
Damn.
Like, it's great.
So would you classify it as like a revenge movie?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
And also, there's some great actors in it and some really funny stuff in
I
it.
saw this clip of Halle Berry doing like a gun training range at a gun.
Yeah,
gun
Halle
range,
Berry's in
and
the third one.
Yeah, and she was like so supposedly she's been like working with this like specific company.
Which I think is the same thing Keanu Reeves did before.
Yeah, dude, she looked badass, dude. She was like she was like posting up and aiming. She like dropped a clip on her move, and she was it was cool.
There's
but it looks like
in
they
the
all kind of take their shit seriously on this set.
there's a great video. It's like a 4-minute long sort of like take of this dude running around with like an iPhone following Keanu Reeves through a shooting range, where like you can, when you watch that video, it's for the second one, you can actually see what fight they were rehearsing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And like he's like throwing like airsoft guns down, grabbing other ones, and one's a pump action shotgun.
Dang.
Like, it's hardcore shit.
Dang.
Also, there's a trailer for the most recent one with Halle Berry, and she's doing all the fight stuff, and she's got these like German shepherds fighting with her, and one of them goes straight for a guy's balls.
Oh fuck.
I was just like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Damn. I'll have to check this shit out, man. I don't know why I'm really camped on it. Like, I just really...
I started watching these like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the first one just because I'd heard so much. I saw there was another one coming out. And I was like, these have like fuck all budget. You ever seen like the Mayhem Like Me, like State Farm commercials?
Yeah.
It's directed by that dude.
For real?
Yeah.
That's rad as fuck.
It's him and another guy. One of which, the other dude directed Deadpool 2.
Nice.
And Atomic Blonde.
Oh, cool.
So,
Atomic Blonde's a dope movie.
Yeah. So it's same guys.
Nice.
And like, I just thought like these don't have the biggest budget in the world. They have good actors and they're really highly regarded as films.
Yeah.
And just like I watched it, I was like, this is the best like rendition of like what the Expendables and all the movies that are trying to recapture the magic of like 80s action movies should be.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's dramatic subtitles.
All right.
There's a fuck ton of guns, and there's cool long takes.
Well, maybe I'll have to, like I said, maybe I'll have to check out this John Wick 2 just to dive into the universe and see what's up.
Yeah.
I'm all about those sequels. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 was
is also a good one to check out.
Is
In
that
case anybody's looking for a sequel. What's the secret of the ooze?
Secret. I was gonna say Revenge of the Ooze.
Revenge of the ooze.
Can ooze have revenge?
I guess. I think anything can have revenge, really.
And on that very philosophical and deep note, I think it's time to bring an end to the first inaugural Matinee Edition.
I think we'll have to wrap it up here.
Hour 40 on the clock right now, but we're probably going to cut this shit down.
Who knows? This has been, the first episode of Matinee Edition. We'll be back next week, catching up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and, whatever the fuck else we want.
We'll probably be talking about more stuff. Who knows?
Who knows? Either way, we'll catch you next week. I'm going to sign out there, I guess.
Let's do anything. Remember, drink water.
Oh, yeah.
Aqua fresca.
That should be like the health tip we always push on this show.
Health tip at the end of every Matinee Edition.
Drink more water.
Go for a walk.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Explore nature.
Either way, we'll see you next week, huh?